Hey guys, Abby Martin here. I just wanted to say a couple quick things. First of all, thank you to everyone in Gaza, especially the journalists on the ground there. Being a journalist in Gaza is one of the most dangerous things that you could possibly do. We know how the IDF treats journalists. So thank you for your work and your complete bravery. I think that the biggest takeaway from this Great March of Return, highly successful unarmed protest, and the subsequent horrific massacre, one of the most egregious massacres of unarmed protesters in the history of humanity, what can we take away from it? Well, we know that the media is an arm of the empire and it's weaponized to basically paint a specific narrative. And the narrative that Americans hear is that Palestine is the enemy. And what did we hear in the wake of this massacre? Well, it was the same thing, unfortunately. It was a lot of blaming Palestinians for their own misery, violence, and deaths. It doesn't matter how Palestinians resist or what they do, the corporate Western media that acts as an extension of the state and the US government will always paint the Palestinians in the same way, with this dehumanizing lens. So what do we do? Well, it doesn't matter. It turns out it doesn't matter what the corporate media and the Western media or the US politicians say and do. Because what matters is that there's an enormous sea change happening. This massacre has really drawn a line in the sand for not only Americans, but the entire international community and the whole world who wants to stand on the right side of history, who doesn't want to support a brutal occupation subjugating millions of people under the boot, who doesn't want to support a colonial apartheid state that's crushing millions under its thumb. This massacre has changed people's minds. There's a sea change that's not being covered by the media, and that's people who see Israel for what it really is. There's no turning back now. There's no, it doesn't matter how many cartoons or infographics Netanyahu comes up with to try to justify these horrendous atrocities and massacres of unarmed protesters. It doesn't matter. People have seen Israel for what it is. They know the tactics of the IDF, and they understand the struggle a little bit more. Every single thing you guys do wakes people up and makes people see the truth. There's a reason why Israel has a multi-million-dollar operation to distort the truth and to, quote, correct the record, right? And don't paint this very heavily skewed one-sided narrative as them being the victims. That's a very specific reason, because they're on the losing side. They need to lie. They need to distort the facts in order to justify this horrific reality. That's amazing. What's amazing to me is that even with that apparatus, people are beating it. Online, 9-1, pro-Palestine to not. People are totally not having it anymore. I mean, whether it be Natalie Portman, to soccer players, to musicians participating in the cultural boycott, every single thing makes a difference. The things that Netanyahu's doing, he thought he was given a green light under the Trump administration, and he thought there was no line that he couldn't cross. Well, it turns out he crossed it. And people have humanity. People see the truth. They see what's going on. Public opinion has changed. Israel knows that it needs to manipulate the facts, but it's losing control of that narrative because it knows that regimes like it has been brought down by solidarity from the rest of the world and growing resistance from inside the country. I mean, people are totally blown away once they just learn the facts. It's a massive education effort that we need to make people understand what you guys go through on a daily basis in Gaza, in the occupied West Bank, what your daily lives are like. Because I truly believe once people understand, there's no way that they can support what's going on. There's no way that they can't become advocates for your cause. We're talking about basic freedom, basic dignity, basic humanity. How do we fight back against the information war? We're doing it. We're doing it every day. You guys are doing it every day. It's about uplifting these voices, uplifting Palestinian voices on grassroots people's media, alternative media, having the Palestinian voice, having the Palestinian story. Your work is going to be so much more widely seen now because people are ready to hear it. They're eager to hear it. They're thirsty for the knowledge. So be confident. Be confident in the fact that you're winning. Be confident in the fact that the struggle is working, that people see you, they hear you, they feel you. You guys are engaged in a historic fight. It's a historic fight for so much, and it represents so much of what we've lost in the world and what we're trying to gain back. You have to know that your efforts are working. You have to know that everything you're doing makes a difference. And we promise that we will continue, we will pledge to stand here and fight shoulder to shoulder for you until Palestine is free.